Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review of Ladies Who List Atlanta Season 1, Episode 4, Grand Openings and Grand Closings. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Child, come on in the room. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Quiana and Robin, they're still talking, right? And so Robin said, let's talk about the money, okay? Because if it ain't about the money, let's talk about it. So they're back to 26 contracts, okay, before we left for commercial break. Honey, it was 29, but we back to 26. And she is telling her that she had 4 days to find somewhere to put her contracts. She said, I had 26 contracts, and you said $500 per contract. So Robin looking at her, and she's like, no, I said $500 flat. Rob, is that the truth? Robin, she said, no, I wanted $500 flat. She said, no, you said per contract. She said, no. Quiana said in her confessional, this is not a misunderstanding. You sure, honey? Because I don't know. It's seeming like a misunderstanding, honey. I don't know if she gaslighting you. I don't know if you lost your mind. I don't know if she lost her mind. Honey, somewhere in between, I just hope we stop talking about this because it is giving very much reminiscent of the 47 acres over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville. One thing I'm going to do is get a particular number, and we are going to hear about that number for the duration of the season. And I am tired, honey. Truth is, I'm tired. She said, I feel like Robin is questioning my intelligence at this point. So Robin said, I was thinking to myself, she mad about $500. She always so drippy. I know she got it. It was $500 flat. So Quiana said, no, I heard 26 contracts, $500 per contract. She said, no, you goofed on that one. You goofed on that one. It was $500 flat. Quiana said, no, in my mind, I heard $500 per contract. Girl, not in your mind. In your mind, you heard her say that? Girl, just admit you've been fussing for nothing. Just admit it, child. Just admit it. Robin said, I would never do that. If you're in a jam, I'm not going to jam you up even more. That's not even my style. Child, we know Robin loves to say the word jam, don't she? Well, now that we know that it's a misunderstanding, can we move on? Moving forward. So she said, I said exactly what I meant to her. For $500, I will hold your files. If she misunderstood that, then she should have asked me, but her pride wouldn't allow it. Well, honey, that sounded about right. So Quiana said, you thought I was mad at you all this time over $500? Listen, girl, now we're not about to start no whole different argument because now you mad that she thought you were broke and you were mad about $500 because your drip say that you could pay the 13, but you didn't want to pay the 5. Child, it's too much, honey. I don't want nothing else to do with it. Shout out to Martin. So Quiana refuses to admit that she was wrong and whatnot. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to let her have it. But I did not mishear her. But I'm going to let her have it. Moving forward. Okay, so none of us are perfect. You were in a jam. You were pressed for time. Your nerves was bad. You probably weren't thinking straight. You heard $500 and just automatically assumed she meant $500 per contract. You hung the phone up. Your bob was bobbing that day. And you were mad, okay? Unless she specifically said, I would like $500 per contract, then there shouldn't have been an issue. I hope we never hear about these contracts again. So then Robin said, give me your pinky. Okay, let's promise if you don't understand something or you need clarity that we provide each other with clarity. And Quiana said, okay, we can do that. And so does any of you owe each other an apology? I don't know what's happening, child. I'm just happy that it's over. Moving forward. In the next scene, Tiana is still talking to the designer. And he said that 1.5 mil is laughable because they paid 1.2 million and he has easily put $300,000 plus into upgrades. He said, if you said like 2.5, then I would say, okay. But Tiana, having knowledge of the building and the area that he's in, she said sellers will sometimes overinvest because they're not familiar with the market. So he's still trying to sell her on it, child. He's still trying to tell her, well, they did this, that, and this and us. She said, but yeah. So you know what? Let's just table it. And in a year or so, you'll get way more for it then than you will now. And then he'll get back what he put into the property. And she said, then I'll be happy to sell it. Child, then we see her sashaying away. So the bottom line is he needs to hold it a little bit longer. Child, it happens. That's what they do in real estate all the time. Buy and hold. Moving forward. In the next scene, Quiana, Crystal, and Kyra, they get together because of their mutual grievances with Robin. I'm like, like, y'all, not y'all getting together to go off because all three of y'all had a problem with Robin. And all three of y'all having silly problems with Robin. Let's just dissect this. Quiana is upset because she had 26 through 29 contracts and she thought that they were going to be $500 per contract. We don't know if Robin's telling the truth or if Robin's lying, but Robin says that it's $500 flat. Let's move on. Crystal is having an issue with Robin because Crystal does not know how to be a friend. So she stood up and tried to embarrass Robin, knowing that this was a gathering to try to get the girls on Robin's side so that they could all work together by yelling, "You're triggered, you're triggered, you're triggered." Let's move on. Kyra is upset with Robin because she unfollowed her on the gram. Yes, you heard that right. Unfollowed her on the Instagram, knowing that Robin don't know nothing about no Instagram. No, child, let's continue. She's like, I thought we should just get together because we all had issues with Robin and, just get together and talk about it. Since I've had such a good meeting with her, I want to know if they had any resolve. Let me just say this before we get to the resolve of it all. Quiana's Bob in this confessional, baby, that thing is B.O.B.ing. Do y'all hear me? Girl, that collection of hair does not disappoint. Girl, they did that. Anywho, that's just a side note. But make sure to tell them that you misunderstood what Robin was saying, okay? Because y'all making Robin look crazy out here in these streets. Moving forward. So Crystal tells them that she's still processing the dinner. And she's like, and the argument with you and her, Kyra, I'm just still trying to process it. Crystal, stop deflecting. And stop trying to pull Kyra in and make her even madder at Robin. There's no reason for her to be mad. Let me tell y'all why I don't think Crystal is a good friend. First of all, I don't think that's a good outfit you're wearing either, Crystal. Girl, that old ill-fitting outfit. Now listen, if Crystal were her BFF, she would have said, Kyra, I'm still processing what happened between you and Robin, but I want to say this to you. Me knowing Robin, I don't think she purposely unfollowed you on some malicious intent type stuff. Like, I don't want to see nothing you got going on. I'm jealous of you. I don't think she did it in that way. So maybe the two of you can talk. But instead, she sat there and kikied and tried to make, oh my God, I can't believe that, I'm still processing what happened between the two of you. I just do not trust it. I just do not trust Crystal. I don't see it for Crystal. I just don't. So Kyra said, the way that I grew up, in conflict, I'm able to stay calm, cool, and collected. I came to Robin in an adult manner and very positive and just to clear the air. And I really expect the same. Did I watch the right show? I'm so confused. Kyra, can you comment down below and tell me what episode I missed? Girl, what? Nothing about that interaction was positive or adult. Not nothing. Okay, you came for the jugular. You started with the ageism mess and she stood up and twirled around. You told her don't come like a fan in your DMs and sit here in front of you like an op. And if she asks you to come and help her, you gonna on her. Do you remember all that? Or am I crazy? Child, maybe I'm confused, honey. And then in her confessional, she said, with Robin being older, there you go again, Kyra, there you go again. She was like, I just felt like she should have handled it a lot better. Ooh, honey, it's the delusions for me. And Kyra, I like you. You do have redeeming qualities. But I need for you to just sit back and just say to yourself, girl, it's a follow. Okay, it's a follow and an unfollow. So Crystal said, I hadn't talked to her since the dinner. So Quiana said, okay, I talked to her and she said that she meant $500 flat when she was telling me about the contracts. So Kyra said, well, that's a big thing to misunderstand. And Crystal in her confessional, she said, no, I'm absolutely not jealous that they spoke. I'm happy. Really? Because we know you think she doesn't play well in the sandbox with other women. So the fact that her and Quiana have ironed out their differences, it seems like you're a little upset to me. So she said, do I believe they really reconciled? Absolutely not. So she goes, well, I'm glad y'all talked about it. And I'm glad you talked to her because that's my best friend. And me saying one word that I will never say again, it made her upset. And Quiana was like, oh, it's okay. I'll say it for you. Triggered. And so her and Kyra like making a little fun of her or whatever. And she's sitting back grinning. And I'm thinking to myself, so it's okay for them to kiki about your friend. And you've gathered here today because of your mutual grievances. And you're still calling this lady your BFF? Child, this why I ain't got no friends. Okay, do y'all hear me? Moving forward. She's like, well, maybe I can look up a synonym in my cellular device for triggered, in more of an effort not to trigger her. See, this is what we talking about right here. This little condescending tone. It's annoying. Okay. It gives, I don't really care what you're talking about, but in order for you to shut up, I'm going to figure out a way around it. I don't like that. I really don't. So Quiana said, well, I got with Tiffany the other day, and she said even the way that she remembers it, she was triggered. So Crystal was like, she was triggered? She said, yes. She didn't feel like she would have treated her friend like that. She said she would have taken her friend out of it instead of yelling triggered over and over. So baby, what she say that for? Well, Crystal is not going to take her out. Okay. Otherwise, how will Robin display her bad behavior in front of the group? Crystal said, I think it's great to say what you would do after the fact, but I did what I could at the time. She's like, that actually annoyed me, Quiana. It really does. Like, I don't care for people that I don't know having an opinion about me. Girl, not you triggered. Girl, you might want to stop selling them shirts, honey, because they say not easily triggered, but this right here feels like it's triggering you. Moving forward. So Kyra is like, well, sometimes people have opinions and they don't really mean any harm. She's like, I really wish that Tiffany would just stay in her lane. You don't know me, and you absolutely don't know Robin. Stay in your lane. Ooh, baby, when I tell y'all that was some old frigid stuff right there, baby, when she said that in her confession, I said she does not see it for Tiffany. I don't know if she's mad because Tiffany is talking to her BFF, and they're just throwing that word around. I don't know if she's mad because of that, or I don't know if she's mad because Tiffany is yet another African-American Black fabulous closing attorney. There is room for you all in the ATL streets. Girl, what is wrong with you? And who you think you scaring? That's number one. She has every right to voice her opinion on this mess that you and Robin created because she was there as well. You just mad because she calling you out. You need to learn how to be a better friend. Child, your real personality shining through. In the next scene, Robin and her neck scarf, they're going to see a friend, Carlos, about his condo. Robin, you and these scarves, girl. It just, oh, honey. Let me tell y'all something. Remember the era of the chokers? I hated a choker. And I hate this scarf around Robin's neck. Oh, child, I hate it. So she said they had a small disagreement, so he took her listing back and gave it to somebody else. See, Crystal, she can't get along with me either. It ain't just the women, it's the men as well. So she gets there, and honey, Carlos is out of Dodge, and he all the way in Puerto Rico. So they're having some silly banter back and forth on this FaceTime. And she was like, you don't just give my listing away, Carlos. Like, we have a real estate marriage, and I feel like I'm being cheated on. So they're trying to work on their marital issues and whatnot. And she's trying to get her listing back. So he's like, I have 6 months and then we'll see what happens. She's like, no, you have whenever you say. If you wake up and she doesn't smell good to you on a Tuesday, you send her an email and it's done. Like, if you don't like the way she's doing it, then you cancel it. He said, well, there's a certain thing called ethics. She said, oh, so you got that now. When did you get that? Girl, they're selling it down in Puerto Rico, child. I think this relationship is more so a friendship, and he has some business dealings, and he was like, girl, since you my girl, I'm going to go ahead and give you my listing, because I do not see this as a client realtor type relationship. It was just something about their little cute banter back and forth. I didn't see this as serious as everybody else did. Like, Robin needs to get it together. He's a client. He cussing her out. She cussing him out. He like, why the F you in my house? She was like, well, yo, said. Like, it's a relationship that they have that causes them to even argue with each other. Because let me tell you something. If you're my client, whatever you say, okay? I'm barking like the woman on Coming to America. Whatever you say, whatever you like, honey, whatever. Because I want that closing, child. I want that money. So she's telling him that her brokerage is number one. He has to go in and end that agreement because, so she was like, you know what? When you come back in town, will you take me to dinner? He said, I have no choice. She was like, no, you don't. And she gets off the phone. In the next scene, TNT, Tiffany and Tiana, they go to the park and they get some exercise in. You know, got to keep your body right and tight. Got to keep the zhuzh and whatnot. So they sit down. And Tiffany starts talking about the grand opening of her law lounge. And she said that she's going to have an office that's not really like a law firm. It's more of a lounge effect. You know, so when you go in, you feel relaxed and you feel celebrated that you're having a closing. Tiana was like, are you inviting Crystal? She said, no, I just want to invite people that are positive because the way that she treated Robin, like, I just don't want that in my space. I just want positive energy in my space. And then she said, I talked to Robin. Actually, we met up. I loved her energy and, the vibe was right. And she's not worried about being business partners with Robin. She more so wants to get to know her personally. So then she said in her confessional, she said, I don't think that Robin is misunderstood. I just think she is who she is because of what happened to her. I understand that, but she can't stay a victim of her circumstances forever. I was bullied by women all my life, from a young girl in kindergarten all the way up until now. Okay? I've had women say catty things about me, but I can't just go around putting my hands on everybody because I was bullied in kindergarten. Like, it just don't work like that. Like, Robin has to take some accountability, and she needs to start by befriending people that want to see that growth instead of condemn her and keep her hands to herself. That's what she needs to do. So Tiana starts opening up about her upbringing and how her mom suffered from addiction, but her dad and her other mom, they were very instrumental in her success. So she starts to get really emotional. She's crying. And she said because of that and what she went through, that's what molded her. And that's why she loves real estate. Like she said, the early trauma and the struggle actually helped to motivate her. And I thought it was so great to see this type of transparency because you never know what people are going through. Like, you don't know what people have faced. So that's why I always say, just try to lead with kindness. I know it's hard, but just try. So Tiffany said, both Tiana and Robin have similar stories that they've shared with her, but both of them are very different and trauma affects people in different ways. And I really did love this scene. I loved it. And the reason why is because you could tell Tiana needed a release. Like, she just needed to let that out. And Tiffany wasn't even privy to that information. She was like, what? I never knew that. Child, I just love me some TNT. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kyra and Tiffany, they go to their client's home, which is Alex. Kyra is the realtor and Tiffany is the closing attorney. So, baby, they go to visit Alex. So, Kyra sold him the home, but he did some upgrading, so they want to check it out. So, baby, they get here, and Alex is a truck mogul, and he started with the fleet, but now he teaches others how to do it. I know that's right, Alex. You better teach the children. Pass on that knowledge, honey. So Alex's home, baby, that home is gorgeous. It looks almost staged. I was like, is people living up in here? Alex, this house makes you scared to sit down, child. I was like, baby, this house right here, it's a beautiful. Success looks so good on our people. I love it, baby. I love it. So he's showing them the movie theater and whatnot. And then he tells them that it's one of the things that he wants to do to be fulfilled. And she's like, what you need? Anything that you need, I'm here for you. He said, I want to buy my mom another house. So Tiffany was like, another one? He said, yeah, I paid off that mortgage, but I want to retire her and buy her another house. He said, I never met my dad. And my mom did everything for me. And I just want to give her something back. And I thought that was beautiful. Alex is the example of what I want my son to exemplify, which is selflessness. Like, I want him to grow up and understand that, listen, mommy had to sacrifice for you, honey, and so I'm going to need you to retire me and whatnot. I'm just saying. And Alex, baby, you better be careful if you single and them DMs about to blow up. It's going down in the DM. Moving forward. So, of course, Kyra was like, for sure, honey, commission. I love repeat clientele. That's how you get into it. In the next scene, Robin goes to meet Carlos for dinner and she wants to talk to him about her listing. So she's like, the video underneath the listing is mine. What sells real estate is the marketing. He said, oh, okay, well, no wonder it's sold. It's sold for cash, $2.1 million. She was like, I don't believe you. Let me see it. So he pulls out his cell phone and shows it to her, right? And she's like, no, this is not supposed to happen. Like, what is happening? This is not how it's supposed to go. All of this is a mess, okay, and a shame. The other agent is bogus for using marketing materials that were not theirs. Robin is a mess because I'm sure she got all in his face going off, child. And he's a mess for giving a listing away if Robin is his go-to agent. But hey, business is business, child. He wanted it sold. They were getting into it as they got into it, and they were fighting and whatnot. So he went on ahead and gave a listing to somebody else. But I couldn't even sit here knowing that I missed out on all that money. I would have to get on up. Honey, because my nerves would be too bad. So he told her that she's good in all aspects except that mouth of hers. And she took it. Okay. She was like, you know what? Let me just bite the bullet. She took it, but then she tried to tell him her idea. He was like, I call BS. I call it because when you grow your brokerage, when you grow, they will come. So Robin was like, you know what? He didn't plant any doubt in my mind, but he did make me think maybe I don't need them. So then he said, you mean the world to me, so guess what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to give you all my listings. Then I'm going to give you the new space that I'm buying. And then I'm like, okay. So Carlos sitting here telling her all the properties that he's going to give her to list. Right then and there, I knew this was just for a scene. Because, honey, you done took the listing from her and then gave it to somebody else, but now you're giving her multiple listings, but there are some things that she needs to change. Child, are you mad at her or not? This was cute, honey. This was a cute little scene and whatnot. Robin, act like you got some sense from here on out. Moving forward. Oh, another side note. Carlos' money is long. Robin had these men wrapped all around her finger. Y'all remember she did that little jump when Frank bought that condo? She was like, yay, Frank. She know what she doing, honey. She pretty and she got a body. Baby, Robin be flirting. That's why she don't work well with women. I think that's what's going on, honey, because you can't flirt your way over into a situation with a woman. But with a man, you just show up looking real pretty, smelling real good, moving all around. Sold. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kyra goes to Crystal's office. Baby. She said she was shocked because they haven't had the most personable past. Yes, remember, Kyra, she acted like she didn't know you when y'all were out in public. Do you remember that? And she also unfollowed you as well. Just thought I'd, keep you abreast. So Crystal said, I want to get to know Kyra, and we do 5-star lunches here at my firm for someone whose business that we would like to earn. So Kyra is the intended target for today. So they started talking about their relationships and their breakups, right? And Kyra was just really telling her everything that she went through as far as the breakup is concerned. And while she's telling her this, I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, Crystal probably already knew this. And that's why she's using it to form a bond with Kyra. It's very manipulative and she ain't fooling me. They'll unfollow you, but trust me, they still watching. So she ain't stupid. She knew that y'all were no longer together. And I wonder why Kyra never addresses her, but only addresses Robin. That really bothers me. So Kyra said, I'm very intentional when I pray. And I was outside in Miami at like 3:00 in the morning and I was just praying, like, God, give me some guidance. Give me a sign. I need something. She said, so I went to sleep. I woke up and the next morning at 8 a.m., my neighbor called me and told me that my house had burned down. God will move you when you will not move yourself. And baby, when I tell you I am a living witness to that, he will literally make you so uncomfortable that you have to move your feet. Baby, please don't get me to preaching up in here. Moving forward. So Crystal is like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to steal you from Tiffany, but I think there's enough to go around, especially with your numbers. Not you done looked her numbers up and whatnot. Crystal is a snake. Okay, she keeps claiming that her and Tiffany aren't competing, but ma'am, you're in a secret competition. And I knew that from episode 1. Like, Kyra, now, honey, I know you all around on the internet streets, honey. The people is getting on your nerves because they're talking about this whole unfollowing business. But I'm going to caution you this, and I'm speaking directly to you. I would be careful disclosing all my personal business to Crystal. I just would be careful of that. So Kyra said, Crystal is really coming on strong, knowing that I closed with Tiffany. So that should tell you something right there. So Crystal said, look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. Are you going to start closing with me or not? Well, dang. Can she finish her shrimp cocktail? Baby, this is a fool. Moving forward. In the confessional, Crystal said, with her numbers, she can afford to spread her numbers around. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because that is Tiffany's client. Would you like it if Tiffany sat down with Robin and was like, look, y'all got into it at that restaurant, so why don't you start closing with me, girl? It's shady. I understand some people are going to say, well, that's business. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're in a friend group or a close circle of girls and you already know, you stated that there were only 2 black closing attorneys, which was you and Tiffany, then it's a direct competition. And I don't like that. In the next scene, it's the day of the law firm lounge opening, right, for Tiffany's law firm. It's beautiful in there. Child, I want to buy me some real estate in Atlanta just to go close over there. So Tiffany gives a toast to her husband, Jeff. She said they went from being broke on food stamps to opening a law firm. I love it. I really do love to see that. She said they work together to make it happen. It's very beautiful to have a supportive spouse. It really does make a huge difference when you know you got somebody that got your back. So Robin is like, Tiffany is very adorable. And this is what she said in her confessional. I really appreciate her supporting me. So I'm supporting her and Crystal's not here. Why Robin was sounding like Jackie Christie from Basketball Wives? She used to call Drea that all the time. She used to be like, Drea's so adorable. I really adore you. It used to be so fake. Robin, do not call people adorable, honey. It is not genuine at all, child. Please. She is a grown adult, not adorable. Moving forward. So Kyra pulls Tiffany aside to tell her about the 5-star treatment that she was receiving at the Kimbrough law firm. Now, why would you tell her this in the middle of her opening? To get her attitude out. She said she wanted positive energy. That's why Crystal not there, honey. Crystal gonna be there whether she there or not. And she said, yeah, it was appetizers, entrees, dessert, bottle service. So the other girls are standing there, right? She was like, and we also, bonded over our relationships. She broke up with her guy and I've broken up with mine. So Tiffany is like, that is too much. Like, it's funny how we go to this dinner with Robin and it's all about collaboration, but now she's trying to steal Kyra's business. Is that collaborating or is that competing with somebody? It's competing with somebody, honey. It's definitely competing. But if Kyra is down for you, then she'll stick around. And the fact that she told you, that speaks to her character, because she could have just, been sneaking around and whatnot. But she actually told you that Crystal was slithering around, okay, like a snake. So Tiffany said, me and Kyra have worked together since the beginning. So for Crystal to try to appease her with certain things, I don't rock with that. Crystal has no code, honey. None. She's all about the coin. Okay? They make them in your size when you got the coin. Shout out to Nene Leaks. Baby, it's all about the money. Tiana said she wrong as hell trying to woo Kyra knowing that she is Tiffany's client. She probably think Robin trying to close with Tiffany, so now she trying to snake Kyra over here to close with her. She was just a whole mess. So Robin comes over to take a picture, honey. She's so oblivious. She was like, Kyra, you getting in? She said, no, thank you. Baby, Kyra is pretty and petty. Petty boots, honey, petty boots. All of this over an unfollow. Well, at least she didn't do the fake reality show thing and hop in the photo. Because you know how they be like, okay, I'll take a picture with you, knowing they do not like the person. I was surprised she even took the picture, even though she almost hit Robin with that Diddy crop. Y'all know how Diddy be cropping people out of his pictures? That's exactly what Kyra was down there doing. She was like, I'm going to just hold it a little bit to the left. Moving forward. In the next scene, Quiana and Robin, they go to talk in the conference room, right? And so she starts talking to her about Crystal and how Crystal never responded to her. So Quiana was like, well, she said you weren't picking up her calls. And she was like, no, she has not called me and she is not blocked. And I believe that. Crystal knows she ain't called that girl, honey. She just lying and trying. But my thing is this. Why don't y'all talk to each other? I would advise against that, me personally. But instead of talking to everyone else, talk to each other. Like, this isn't making any sense. BFFs? So Robin said, Crystal hurt my feelings because it's hard for me to maintain relationships with women because I don't know who's for or against me. So Quiana said in her confessional, the fact that Robin can't formulate relationships with other women, that is a huge red flag. Because at some point, honey, it's not them, it's you. Quiana, you just don't like Robin. You don't like her. I mean, this comment is why she has a hard time. She's opening up to you. Like, how about you find out the why? Because you're over here Team Crystal and you're not listening to both sides, but you're saying that you're neutral. So if you are, then listen to what Robin has to say as well. I just don't think you like her. So Robin said, I befriended her because she came highly recommended by her boyfriend. And truth be told, honey, she only befriended me because she didn't want me to, her man. Robin, no. Oh my God. Okay, I can't defend that one. Okay, because that was unnecessary and that was messy. If this is your best friend, then why would you say that? Girl gone. Neither one of y'all are friends. Y'all are business associates at best. Let it go. Let it go. So Quiana is like, no, but they really did love each other. Like, I can't see her doing that. I can't see her befriending you just because she didn't want you to sleep with her man. So Quiana said in the confessional, this is yet another huge red flag. Because if you're saying she befriended you so you wouldn't sleep with her ex, then why even be her friend? Now this you're on point with. Shout out to Phaedra Parks. I totally agree with you, Quiana. And Robin, why would you allow someone to befriend you because they want to keep you away from their man? That makes absolutely no sense. So what kind of person are you? Child. And Quiana, don't forget the fact that she's sitting here saying it to you. That's even more of a red flag. Because honey, she gonna take your stuff and what she think about you and tell it to somebody else. Child, this is a whole fool. So Robin said, she is the life of the party. Crystal is a very good person. If you need something done, she can put together an event in 2 seconds flat. That's not the problem. It's just that I don't think she knows how to be loyal because she's used to a big group of women. She's used to a big friend group. She's a sorority girl. I can see that. The way she behaved when she got to that dinner, she started showing out. That's what I call it. When you get amongst a group of people, when it's just me and you act a certain way. But then when you get around a whole group of girls, all of a sudden you acting brand new. I can't stand for people to show out. And that's exactly what Crystal was doing when they were at that dinner. Just get to it, Robin. Like, why are we here? You know why you are here. Moving forward. It's hard to be friends with a person that's a loner because it's hard to include them. So even if Crystal wasn't a sorority girl, when she would take Robin around someone else, Robin probably wouldn't be able to mesh well with them because she's such a loner. Like, she's like always to herself. So Robin said, Crystal doesn't respect boundaries. Robin, neither do you. Neither do you. You hit that lady. Did you forget that? It is both of you. So Quiana said, well, have you looked at it her way? Because I see it both ways. She's like, nope. Haven't looked at it her way, not once. Nope. Robin a mess. Oh, she a mess. She said, if you're my friend and you were being attacked, okay, I would have your back. It wouldn't be anything that I needed to see. But with her, it was like she didn't know which side to go on. And I mean, she literally just met Kyra. She was acting like she birthed the baby. So Quiana started laughing or whatever. And she was like, well, speaking of the baby, I tried to get her in the picture. Like, what's that all about? Like, you're still mad over an unfollow? And so Quiana was like, well, maybe you guys just need to talk. She said, okay, we'll talk right now. Okay, here we go. Look at this. I'm about to call her in here. I'm like, do y'all realize that this is Tiffany's event? Well, honey, I guess anything for TV. And we are going to see the conclusion of Robin talking to Kyra. This is the Robin Show. All Robin, all the time. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this episode. I think that Quiana may have misheard Robin. Maybe Robin is gaslighting Quiana. I just don't want to hear nothing else about it. The 26 through 29 contracts. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.